Hello, hello, hello! Everything is working, sort of. Hello! Hello, welcome to Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs. The music's quite dramatic. How wonderful. Try something a little bit this one. Ooh, a bit more ominous perhaps for today's stream, but that's okay. Hello, my name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the host of What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast. Big glump. I had a big gulp of water before. And I am also the host of Tabletop RPGs, in which every couple of streams, couple of days even, I do a stream where I just read through a tabletop RPG that's in my collection that's been gathering dust. All randomly on a huge table going, oh, let's check that out for the stream. And basically we take like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just to go through as much as we can, like about it, what we'd improve about it, etc. And just, well, why is it of interest? Because, there's, one RPG system isn't for everyone. It's nice to go through different RPG systems and see what we like about it and how we make different stories, which is the whole point of my... I hope you're doing very... It's a bit dramatic. I hope you're doing very well. I'm sorry that I've not been around this thing. There has been on the socials a strike for, and whilst I don't make any money yet, I did feel like, well, I don't want to capitalizing on other people not stream. So I postponed one of the normal Sunday stream. I'm just going. But I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good week. Not much to report on my end. I've done lots of pre-records of coming up in a couple of months for different podcasts, which has been very, very lovely. Really, really enjoying that. And I hope that it's something I can do more in future. I'm just going to turn myself up a little bit. I was fiddling with the settings around before, and I think I've done something to this mic. I don't know what it is. I think I've jarred it in some way, and I feel very guilty. So it is a very good mic, and I'm just not clever enough to work out what's wrong with it. But it's all fine. I'm gonna move it one more just in case, and people will tell me otherwise. Ooh, there we go, a little bit higher, because I know there's maybe a slight buzz. It's because I knocked it, and I feel really guilty about it. But unless I decide to fit in my XLR cable instead, I'm not going to do that. But otherwise, all is well, and I hope you guys are good as well. So today, friends, families, and foes, as I like to say, we are going to be looking at River Horse Publishing, I believe is their full title. We're going to look at River Horse Publishing's first licensed game, I want to say off the top of my head. We're going to look at My Little Pony, Tales of Equestria. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, Fiona, really? And the answer is yes, really, because we have to look at all different kinds of systems which we may need to run for not just ourselves and not just our friends who are into this stuff, but also for younger audiences as well. And this is I have read this through previously as a separate thing because I wanted to see how do you design an RPG which is aimed at a different audience to say a usual RPG audience, but also probably for people who are playing RPG systems for the first time. And I think it's quite exciting, and it definitely, obviously, the fandom of My Little Pony, I vaguely remember the Brony era and how big that was, and so it appealed to a lot of different audiences. So it would be interesting to see, again, maybe not so much the mechanics for this one, although I know that they've got some nice ways of doing the terminology around stuff like story points, etc. I think that's quite nice. It'd be quite nice to see how does it encourage people to think about a game using the lore, using the setting of Equestria, which is where the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series is based. So yeah, so I thought we'd just have a quick look in that. Now, obviously, if you want to get your own copies of stuff, go to the River Horse Games website. That's what they are. River Horse Games are looking at the URL like this. They've got a ton of stuff. Let me switch over to game that oh no, don't look at that. that's the one we're going to look at today. Oh, where are you, My Little Pony? Friendship is Magic. Are you not showing today? Nice, cheeky. Okay, so this is our website, River Horse Games, And they've done a couple of other licensed games which we can look at in a second. But the main game, I just zoom out a little bit so we get a little bit more going. So the main sort of core rules, this one over here, the storytelling game, that's going for around 25 GP for a physical copy, probably a little bit cheaper for the PDF, which wasn't too bad. But then you've got a lot of extras you can get as well. They've got a bestiary, they've got a couple of scenarios or campaigns essentially, which is great. I'm always a fan of that. And they've got a source book for the official movie. Unfortunately, it's sold out on their website, but again, you can get PDF copies there, and you can get a set of dice as well. So there's a little bit, if you're just starting out, and maybe you've got little ones who are interested in learning about role-playing games, you've got enough there to keep you going. It's all, I think, relatively not bad pricing for a game that could be incredibly popular with young people, which is good. The one thing I will say is that if I click over through to the storytelling game, it is written, the copy of it is written, you can't see it there, the copy of it is written as if, like, talking directly to a younger person, which I think is absolutely great. That was it. So you can get physical copies from riverhorsegames.com, but you can get PDF copies from Drive-Thru RPG. But what I quite like is that it does talk to, it's talking to a younger person on the same level as them. So it's not like, this is a game where you're good, it's like, so hey, this book is about this and stuff. Again, depending on the age range, maybe people are going to find it a little bit maybe patronizing perhaps, etc. But I don't know. I think it's a nice way, it's a different sort of tone that we usually take from RPG books. So I just thought that was interesting, like in the copy itself, it's not like, oh, Tales from Equestria is based in like My Little Pony, but it actually is written as if somebody, is looking for this book for the first time, wants to know. And it's definitely like a two-way conversation, which I very much appreciate. So we'll read through the copy, and then we'll go into the actual book itself. The actual book itself is about 154 pages, but as you'll see, it is quite a lot of it is a mixture of sort of drawings and illustrations. It'll be getting through it quite quickly. It's about 12 chapters, and then there's like a appendix and an adventure module at the end. So that'll be all really good. All right, so let's get started with the reading. Let's maybe enhance it a teeny tiny bit. It'd be good if I clicked on this actual thing, huh? So. So what is this book? Hey there! So I imagine if you're taking a look at this game, you know a little about My Little Pony. Perhaps you're a fan of the show, or maybe collected the original toys when you were younger. I didn't. I was never that much of a My Little Pony fan. I was definitely more like a Polly Pockets and Mighty Max fan myself. I think the ponies was not. I was never too much of a horse girl. I did try horse riding for a little bit, but it wasn't for me. This book is a manual for a storytelling game that allows you and your friends to explore the amazing and magical world of Equestria. Will you be a dynamic adventurer like Darren Do, or a stylish diva like Rarity? Tales of Equestria allows you to create, name, and play your very own pony character to solve puzzles and explore dungeons, and there may even be some dragons. I see what you did there, Riverhorse Games. Wait. You said this is a game, but this is clearly a book. So true. Oh, stupid things. Hang on. There we go. Wait. You're right, but it's actually a book and a game. This book contains rules and a story. The rules will tell you how to make a strong, clever, or charming pony. A story that you and your friends will delve into. Where the choices you will make the story is... Oh. Hang on. A story that you and your friends will delve into, where the choices you make will change the story itself, until you are telling the story as much as the book or the GM. GM, what is that? So a GM is the game master. It's a shame they don't call it Pony Master, but no worries. Is a player at the table, but instead of playing a pony, he or she will play as a storyteller, impersonating all the ponies you meet, the beasts you face, and the challenges you face. Think of the GM as a narrator in the movie. It is their job to tell players exactly what is happening in the story and what the outcome of their actions are, depending on the results they roll on their dice. Cool. How do I win? Winning a storytelling game is very easy. You just need to have fun. Tales of Equestria is not about getting to the end of a board or having the most points, but about having fantastical adventures along the way and using the magic of friendship, ooh, copyright that, to overcome any obstacle that stands in your way. As a group, you and your friends, including the GM, are all on the same team. As long as every pony is having fun, everyone wins. So open up Tales of Equestria and be prepared to enter a world of magic and friendship. Magic and friendship. What? You can't have both. Oh, and then we've got a little bit for grown-ups as well. So, oh, how interesting. It says, oh gosh, role-playing games and their educational benefits. So a role-playing game is something that almost all children do very naturally. Playing house or pretending to be your favourite character in a TV show is a role-playing game at its very core. Role-playing is a very important part of growing up, learning empathy and using teamwork. Tales of Equestria in particular is about friendship and all its elements, exploring new ideas and concepts in a safe environment where anything is possible. The wonderful thing about a role-playing game is that the story can be tailored and changed by the GM depending on the group they are playing with and the lessons that they may want to teach. For example, an adventure in which Firebrand discovers a band of greedy diamond dogs who refuse to share may very well teach the player a little something about why sharing is important. That's so funny. I literally just finished a pre-record which had diamond dogs as like the name of one of the sort of villainous like groups of NPCs. So if only I knew they didn't want to share, that might have solved all of our problems. If you would like to download a printable pony sheet, you can do so here. So yes, that is the other thing to note, is that on their website, the Riverhorse has a whole bunch of downloads, erratas, etc., which can be found here. I will say it's not the easiest to find, and they have it for a lot of their games. So obviously, the other games they've done are like the Jim Henson one, so that Dark Crystal adventure game, which I've not looked at. I do have a copy of it. I've not looked at it, but it sounds brilliant. There's the Labyrinth game, which I have played through and I really love, and that's great. I wonder what the Goblin King's sheet is. And then they've got stuff like the Pacific Rim board game, I want to say. And it's a board game for the Jim Henson's one, and the card game, and a Dark Crystal board game. There we go. So here's the My Little Pony. So we've got the starter pony sheets. I have downloaded them to check on it. You can actually get something I think is really cool. The actual chapter on creating your pony character, you can actually just take that from here. So you don't necessarily need to buy the book. If you know what the rules are, you just learn how to take the character creation and give it to your players, which I thought was brilliant. Actually, I thought that's a really clever thing to do. And then you have creature sheets, which are essentially creating the character sheet. So that's like the sort of incredibly neutral one. And then you'll notice here, we'll go into it to more detail. There are 3 different types of ponies in this game. We've got the Earth Pony, the Pegasus, and the Unicorn. Now, the thing I find interesting is that, so you can see here, it sort of genders them a little bit. So you've got the female Earth Pony character sheet, you've got the male Earth Pony, same for the Pegasus, same for the Unicorn. And actually, the only real difference is the sort of, basically, there's a place where you can put like a picture of your pony, and the difference between sort of the different types of pony is that one has wings, one has a horn, and then, as far as I can tell, the only difference between the female and male versions of the character sheets is that the eyes of the female ones have eyelashes, and the male ponies have like a cool vibe to them, essentially, like their eyes are slightly closed, but they seem a little bit cooler. You can take or leave it. I don't think it kind of matters, really. It's nothing mechanical, and it shouldn't be something mechanical, I would say as well. I would just honestly just download the creature sheet and let your players draw their own pony, just because I think it's a lot easier on that front. But that's just the only thing to mention there. You also get like a PSD file and the TIFF file as well, which I don't know why you would need that necessarily. Well, I guess you could create them maybe in like a Photoshop perhaps, or maybe your own thing. Sure. And then there's another thing, the Alchemy Talent, which we might get onto today, we might not. So yeah, so there's some free stuff there as well. I'd say as well, they're not form fillable, these sheets. And there's no black and white or like text only version of it, so it might be a little bit of a bugger to print out. That's the only thing I would say. But very pretty nonetheless, and we can see an example of them later. Alright, let's move from this to... let's get rid of Chrome. Say goodbye, Chrome. And let's get on to Tales of Equestria. So let me show you the example. So this is just the creature one. Yep, that's right. Sorry, I was like, wait, maybe it's just say something else. So yeah, you can see it's obviously got a very nice border. It's very easy to read, perhaps. I'm not a big fan of the font, but I get it. It has to be fun. Fiona no fun. That's what they call me. You can also see there's the three sort of main stats there, like body, mind, charm. A massive place to do your portrait of your character as well. Yeah, so all the information is on one place, and again, all the information at the top here if you need it, and some talents, etc., some quirks, friends, and this circle at the top is saying friendship. I believe that's where you put your friendship tokens as a way to easily pool them together rather than they're supposed to be like physical items, so to speak. Anyway, so we can refer to this when we're going through the character creation. So, yes, Tales of Equestria, the core book, the storytelling game, is about 154 pages, and you'll see a lot of it is going to be sort of artwork, which is absolutely fine. We'll go through as much as we can in the 2 hours we've got. Oh, so I think this is the back cover, which I'll move in a little bit. Also, forgive me if I don't get the names of these ponies right. Please don't send the pony fandom on me. Or the MLP fandom, there you go. Dear Princess Celestia. Gosh, I was going to go Celeste. I was like, Dear Princess Celestia, I am happy to report that our dragon has departed our fair country, and that it was my good friend Fluttershy who convinced him to go. This adventure has taught me that your friends can help you overcome your greatest fears. Always your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle. So Twilight Sparkle, I think, is that middle one there. I can't remember, it's been a while from it. And then it's just going to repeat exactly what we said in that first bit, so we don't need to do that. That's absolutely... Go. Friendship is magic. Yes. Beautiful. Alright. Oh, look, we're going forward. Let's read the forward, shall we? So, I wanted to write Tales of Equestria because after watching every single episode of the TV show, in brackets repeatedly, with my young daughter, I've truly grown to love the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I also love role-playing and story games, and I believe the world of Equestria is a perfect setting for them. It is my greatest hope that you will enjoy playing this game with your family and friends for many happy hours together. Thanks for playing Tales of Equestria. Have fun, Alicio. God, how cracking is these images of the castles and stuff. Alright. Oh, instantly straight away, look, it's already sort of linked in the PDF, so fantastic. I love stuff like that. So we've got 12 chapters in total. Then we've got the adventure module at the end, the pet predicament. About 40 pages, that's not too bad. And then we've got the appendix, which is other stuff. Oh, other stuff. But yeah, relatively straightforward on that front. So, let us dive right in. But yeah, every chapter begins sort of, you know what, I should zoom out a little bit so we can see it. Every chapter will begin sort of like a big 2-page spread with the chapter heading of saying what it is as well, and a nice piece of art, which I think is just like, I don't want to say generic art, that's not fair, but I don't think it's like from the TV show or anything. I think it's deliberately been put together with the assets. There we go. So, what is a storytelling game? So that's what it brands itself as. So Tales of Equestria is a storytelling game, which is also known as a role-playing game or RPG. Games like these can be played by 2 or more players. One player will always be the storyteller, also known as the narrator or game master. So they are calling us storytellers in this, that's quite good. Whilst all the other players are pony characters or PCs. See, I like that, that's cool. In our books, we have gone for role-playing game... Oh, game master. Oh. My hopes were dashed there for a second. It is best if the GM is a grown-up, like mom or dad or grandpa or grandma, a big sister or brother, a babysitter, etc. The best size of group is 4 people, the game master and 3 pony characters, ideally 1 earth pony, 1 unicorn and 1 Pegasus. Of course, smaller or larger groups can work just as well, but we would recommend not having more than 6 pony characters, as the game might become a little messy. Mhm. Once you and your friends have gathered to play, perhaps sitting around the table or on the floor. Oh my god, not on the floor. Are you mad? My poor back. The first thing the game master will do is help each player create a pony character. This is great fun as you and your friends will have to answer the question: imagine you were a new character in My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. What would your pony be like? What colours would you be? What your talent? Your cutie mark? For example, you could say, I'm going to be a unicorn called Firebrand, who is red with an orange mane and tail. My cutie mark is a flame, and my talent is controlling flames, so I can be a firefighter in Ponyville. But I will also be good at making the most beautiful fireworks. Nice. See? Simple, straightforward. With the help of the Game Master, you complete a character sheet for your new pony, which records his or her abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, as later explained in this book. Once all the pony characters have been created, the Game Master will start telling you all a story set in Ponyville or one of the many fabulous places in Equestria, and you and your friends will be the characters in this story. Okay. For older readers, oh, it's the same thing. Yes, it's what we said before, right? Oh no, it's not. Storytelling role-playing games can be extremely beneficial for young ones as they learn under an adult supervision to develop face-to-face communication skills. Social skills like teamwork, problem-solving, diplomacy, and even some lessons about morality and justice can be learned through the fun media of adventuring. Ooh. Often, very strong bonds are developed among players, bonds that last for the rest of their lives, and wonderful memories of events lived together during play will form the fond subject of many a future conversation. I mean, that's quite true. Like the fact I can speak to my friends, and be like, God, do you remember that session we did like 5 years ago? And like it's so strong, so we feel it. So the emotions we feel and how we remember it just really codifies how we are as players and to each other. So yeah, definitely a fan of that. And of course, Tales of Equestria's core message is the same as the show that inspired it, that friendship is the strongest force that we can tap into. Oh, alright. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I could say at every image, like, oh, tag yourself, who are you? I'm 100% this one here. I think that's Fluttershy, right? So, for example, the Game Master could say something like, you and your friends are making your way through the ever-free forest towards the castle of the two sisters. Would you prefer to get there before it gets dark? You would prefer to get there before it's dark. Do you fancy not getting there at all? And on your right, a little trail leaves the main path you've been following. Your map shows that this little trail to be a shortcut, and if you follow it, you might get to the castle before nightfall. But you spy some really big cobwebs further along the trail. What would you like to do? Stick to the longer but well-used main path, or take the slightly scary shortcut? And what I like there is that you instantly give what the two options are to the players. Again, just so you're not overwhelming them with big choices, and giving the, it is railroady a little bit, but it's two options that they can have, and easily they could go, ooh, but what about half of us split up, or maybe we wait to see if someone else comes along and we can hitch a ride with them if they're, etc. So I think it's enough to like narrow down the two options that they can do just now, pick whichever path they want to do, or they can come up with a third option, which I'm always a big fan of doing. Then it's up to you and your friends to discuss which way to go, and once you have all agreed, you can tell the Game Master and he or she will continue the story, telling you what happens next. As you play, the story of your adventure develops. You will meet other characters, maybe even a famous one like Princess Twilight Sparkle, and weird creatures. Explore new and familiar places in Equestria and face challenges and solve riddles on your way to completing your mission. When you and your friends have finally succeeded in your adventure, you will be rewarded with experience as you learn new things that will make your pony cleverer, stronger, or more charming and talented, ready for a new and more challenging quest. The great thing about role-playing games is that you don't have to finish the story all at once. When it's time to stop, the story can be paused, and the next time you all meet together, you can begin again from where you left off. There's more information how to play a role-playing game, either as a game master or as a pony character, later on in the book. Those are those advanced tips. Yes, I remember that now. All right. Things we're going to need. Oh, wow. All the stuff you need to buy, huh? No, I'm kidding. It's just very branded, huh? To play Tales of Equestria, you're going to need a few things in addition to this book, but don't worry if you don't have them right now, as most of them can be easily replaced with free or very cheap substitutes as described below. So a pencil and a razor. Yep, that makes sense. Pony sheets. So, I see. The pony sheet can look like this. Does my one have a cutie mark? Oh, it doesn't. I wonder if it's a creature sheet, so maybe then this is for like an NPC one rather than the actual My Little Pony one. Oh, I've mucked up there. All right, I'll get one of the pony ones out so we can look at that as well. Give me a second whilst I do that. That's my bad. I wrongly assumed that it would be this. All right, this is a female earth pony. Actually, I wonder if I can get. I've got the male earth pony as well. Yeah, I can actually show you the difference. So firstly, so this is the male one. Actually, no, start with the female one because I feel that maybe a bit more obvious, perhaps. So this is female earth pony. With no mane, no tail, but again, that's what something you draw in. There you go, the quick cutie mark there rather than friends. And then the male one, again, if I just zoom out. Look at that. Thing is, I feel more, this is more my vibe than this vibe, I'll be absolutely honest. So yeah, a little bit different in terms of their body shape, etc. But it did make me laugh that you could have different ones, and it's about, I don't know. Anyway. So, alright, we'll use one of these as our example. Alright, I assumed that the creature sheet would actually be it, and I realised maybe not. So we'll keep the creature sheet. Oh, why have I done that? Alright, so pony sheets, we've got them. You can download them, which we've done. Or you could buy one of our Tales of Equestria pony pads. Pony sheet pads, sorry. And you can use it in pony sheet paper. I think more games should have like a wad of like character sheets that you could just like rip off and do it, and then you could just get them restocked or resupplied. I like that as a way rather than just having single sheets. But I mean, it's very easy to print stuff out or just make your own, right? Tokens of friendship. These can be represented by any count that's not going to be easily confused with something else. So beads or buttons work perfectly. How many people have beads around their house? That's the only thing I'd say. Role-playing dice, right. So these special dice are used in role-playing games. You can buy our Tales of Equestria dice or other role-playing dice from online or from stores. There's also a number of free dice rolling apps. Yes. Oh, if you have none of the above, you can use a pencil and the dice charts later on in this book. Oh, how fun! Yes, because some of the other books that we've looked at, certainly for the DM's book club, they come with charts and that you like note off, or you pick like numbers, and of course there's such a bigger range of stuff that you could pick low numbers as well as high, etc. So it looks like they go through a full the full polyhedral set, which is good. The D20, D12, D10. 8d6. The worst die is the red die. It has 4 sides and it's called a d4. I quite like that. If you've got like the actual Tales of Equestria dice, they're color coordinated in the sense of like, oh, you need to use your blue die for this one. Oh, use the red die, etc. So I think that's a good way, again, if you've got a younger audience who maybe, certainly I always get d10s and d8s mixed up all the time because they look so similar at a glance, the shape of them at least. So I'm a big fan of that sort of thing. I think the only thing I'd say is that you've got to be careful of colour blindness, perhaps. I don't know. It's one of those things where it makes sense that you'd have individual colours for stuff, but I think just making sure they're in colours that are easily distinguishable, perhaps. I don't know. Alright, other equipment. We could have a Game Master screen if you really want. Supplements and adventures. Figurines. And then we go straight on to chapter 2, creating your pony character. Okay. So, in this chapter, you'll find out how to create your pony character. So what we need is a pony sheet, absolutely, and a pencil and a razor. So, first things first is choose your pony type. There's 3 of them. We've got Earth Pony, a Unicorn, or a Pegasus. If you've chosen this, you've already made your choice. What we've got an Earth Pony is strong and brave, a Pegasus can fly, and a Unicorn can use magic. Gosh, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to... I would always be an Earth Pony. I hate flying, and I'm bad at casting magic in any other game, so Earth Pony it is. So, every on your sheet, so how much? 1 level. Yeah. Okay, so we'd write Earth, and you'd write 1 here. Great. Element of harmony. So there are 6 elements of harmony in Equestria. You can choose an element for your pony as part of the character creation. Will your pony be kind like Fluttershy, honest like Applejack, generous like Rarity, loyal like Rainbow Dash, funny like Pinkie Pie, or clever like Twilight Sparkle? And we've got honesty, kindness, laughter, generosity, loyalty, and magic. For me, it 100% would be laughter. I feel that's what I vibe with the most. I'm always trying to make people laugh, even myself. So choose one and write it in the Elements of Harmony line of your pony sheet. That's the one underneath there. Okay. You find out more about them later on in the book. Body and mind. Is your pony going to be strong and brave, resolute and good at stuff like running, climbing, and lifting heavy things? Or do you want your pony to be brainy and be better at thinking, learning, and solving puzzles? So, strong, if you want your pony to be strong, write D6 in the body of your pony sheet, or a D8 if you're an earth pony, and then a D4 in the mind box. So, I see. So we've got, what did it say? So it said D8 if we were an earth pony, so yeah, so we put that here, and then it was D4 in the mind box. That, yeah. And then if you, other way around, if it's going to be... Oh, interesting. So, I see. So the benefit of being an earth pony is that you have better stats at the beginning. Like if you want to be brainy, write a D6 in mind and then a D4 in body. Except if you're an earth pony, which would be a D6. That makes sense. Okay. The charm score shows how nice, polite, pretty, or handsome, gentle, and charming your pony is. Your pony uses charm to make friends with other ponies and creatures. Every pony starts with a charm of 6. Write a D6 in the charm box. Okay, so that will be on here. So that'll be our 3 main stats: mind, body, charm. Okay. Then we've got stamina. So this shows how tough your pony is. Every pony starts with a number of stamina points. If your pony is a unicorn or a Pegasus, that's 10. If you're an earth pony, write 12. Oh my god, it's great being an earth pony. Fantastic. Okay, but during the game, when things go wrong, your pony might lose stamina points, but it's easy to regain them back through rest and healing. If you ever reach 0 stamina points, he or she is too tired to carry on and must stop and rest to recover. Yes, no death in this game. Understandable. Alright, then we've got talents. So talents, you must now decide what your pony's best talents is going to be. Keep in mind that the talent you choose will be pictured on your pony by his or her Cutie Mark and will influence the life of your pony and possibly your pony's name too. This is a very important choice. Pick a talent from the ones listed on pages 66 to 70, or you can make one of your own. Or, sorry, I'm losing my words today. Or you can make up one of your own with the help of the game master. Let's shoot ahead. We're on page we are now. We're on page 17, so I'm going to shoot ahead because I want to see what these talents are. So that's 66. Okay. Oh no, that's way ahead. Okay, so we've got cloud wrangling, a pony of all trades, creative flair, force field, fly, healing touch, keen knowledge, locate, pony sense, speak with animals, special skill, stout heart, stun ray, telekinesis, the stare, teleport. All right, and that's it. And there's okay, you've got some examples there, but not loads, which is good because it means it's easy just to pick some stuff up. I'm going to read this pony of all trades because I quite like that one. So, some ponies are masters of their craft, focusing on their art until they've reached the pinnacle of skill and talent. Others choose instead to become very good at many things, not as focused but more well-rounded. Whenever you take a test, you may roll your pony of all trades die in addition to any other die and choose either result. Oh, nice! You're always doing it with sort of advantage then. If you use this pony of all trades die, you cannot roll it for any more tests this session. Oh, nice! I quite like that. That's pretty good. What's that cloud wrangling one? So the Pegasi have an important duty to make sure that the weather of Equestria doesn't get out of control. They do this by moving clouds where they need to be and use them to create rain. They can even create tornadoes and summon a storm if they need to. The GM sets a difficulty of tests that involve clearing clouds or making it rain. Clearing a single cloud might be only a difficulty of 3, whereas calming a whole storm, or in brackets, or creating one, is more likely to be a difficulty 10. But only possible for a very talented cloud wrangler. Alright. Nice. That's Pegasus. Let's see this force field one from unicorns. So, some unicorns can use their powers to create magical shields called force fields that can protect their friends from harm. To create a force field, you must be able to concentrate and must decide how big the force field will be. The GM will set the difficulty of the test to create a force field. For example, a force field around a small object like a book would be a difficulty 4, one protecting a pony-sized object would be a difficulty 6, and one shielding a town would be difficulty 12 or more. A force field lasts for as long as the pony that created it concentrates on it, or until it is broken. If a character wants to break a force field, he or she will have to test their body trait with a difficulty equal to the die value of the force field talent of the pony that created it. For example, a pony trying to break a force field created by a pony with a force field of D6 would need to take the body test against the difficulty of D6. Okay, I think I get that. It's pretty wild though. But I guess it's very specific, like what's the die sizes. I think this game's going to be like die sizes quite a bit, huh? Oh, hello, Kevin Reed. Nice to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us for this. This is our My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Like, too long didn't read tabletop RPGs. We're just sort of going through it and seeing what we like about it. So far, it's quite an easy read. Obviously, you know, maybe you are the audience for this sort of thing. Maybe you're not. But I'm glad you are here, my friend. So, now we're going on to talents. So, you must now... Oh, no, we've done the talents one, sorry. Earth ponies. So, if you are the Earth pony, he or she also gets the Stout Heart talent. Oh, I should have looked at that, shouldn't I? Write the Stout Heart in brackets D6 on the second line of your talents box on your pony sheet. If you've already given your pony the Stout Heart talent, you can increase this talent to a D8 instead. Nice. Unicorn. If your pony is a unicorn, he or she gets the Telekinesis magical talent. Write Telekinesis on the second line. If you've already given them that, increase the score to D8. Oh, I see. So you start off the game with could be 2 different talents depending on what you choose, or like a really enhanced first talent. Nice. Pegasus. So if your pony is a Pegasus, he or she gets the Fly talent. Write Fly in brackets D6. You've already given them the Fly talent. It increases to D8. Very straightforward. Quirks. You must now pick a quirk for your pony. Quirks make your pony stand out from the herd and more fun to play. If your pony is your pony sometimes too easy to scare, like Fluttershy? Is he or she a bit too fond of gems, like Spike? A quirk could be something that your pony is afraid of, or something he or she finds extremely difficult to do or truly dislikes. You can pick a quirk from the ones listed on page 72 to 73, or you can make one up with the help of your game master. Write this down in the quirk box on your pony's character sheet. So that's here. I see. So you got the main one there. And what's CM mean? Don't know what that means. Oh, Cutie Mark. Fiona. Get your head in the game, Fiona. Alright, let's look at these quirks and see what we've got to play with. So quirks could be allergies, asthma, blunt, bossy, fear, forgetful, me. That's me. Messy, naive, neat freak, needs glasses. Oh gosh. Shiny, overconfident, short attention span, short fuse, super shy, too silly. Oh dear. What's going on there? Interesting. So quirks are supposed to give you like a character, like thing to sort of play off, perhaps. And it's not necessarily. It doesn't have to be. It described it a little bit as it's like a negative thing, perhaps, like your fear of this, or you're a negative, like bossy. I always find the word bossy very negative. Just because maybe I've been called that in my time. Thanks, personal review. But I guess it's a flaw. I wouldn't call it well, I guess quirk is a nicer way of putting it, but it feels like these are, if we're going to play them as a negative thing, or something that impacts us like in a way that we have to overcome, like, you know, analogy to like, whether it's dragon sneeze trees or bees, you're allergic to something that makes you all ill and sneezy. If your allergies are very bad, you might want to keep some pony balm ready for emergencies. Oh, I quite like the naming of that. So, okay, forgetful as well. All right. So back to where were we? Page 3. Oh, went too far. Went too far. Whoops. There we go. So, and then we do a portrait and cutie mark. So it's time to draw your pony in the portrait box of your pony sheet. You'll also need to draw the cutie mark in the cutie box of your pony sheet. And remember, it should your cutie mark should have something to do with your main talent. Nice. You get a little bit of drawing time, which I quite like. Now you must name your pony. Your pony's name might have something to do with their talent you have chosen or the way you look or behave. For example, Emily might decide to name her unicorn, shown on the left, Firebrand, because she's both fiery-tempered and talented at making amazing fireworks. And then finally, decide what items your pony Finally, decide what items you want your pony to carry. You start off with 400 bits. Okay. Money. Now look at chapter 10. Decide what you're going to spend your money on. If there's something you want to buy that's not listed there, ask the game master if he or she can let you buy the item and how much it would cost. See, I would make it easy and just say that everyone starts off with the same bit. So you have like, I don't know, 400 bits or maybe like 100 bits, some cloak, a nice pack, food, just give it absolutely generic stuff. Or even just be like, what do you think you have? I don't worry too much about the bits and using money for stuff. Although I guess that's one of the lessons you could learn is like, how do you buy stuff and count and all that sort of thing. But I just leave it out. It's certainly a character creation. Tokens of friendship. Your level 1 pony starts with 1 token of friendship per player in the group, including the game master. So if it's just you and the game master, you start with 2 tokens. But if it's you, 2 other friends that are about to start playing as a group, then every pony will start with 4 tokens of friendship. Friendship is probably the most valuable of your abilities. Tokens of friendship allow you and your friends to get out of trouble, but once you use them, they are gone for good. We find out later what they're used for. Of course, you can always gain more tokens of friendship during your adventures in Equestria. To keep a track of how many tokens of friendship you have, you can write it down on your pony sheet. Here. Or you can use some small objects as tokens of friendship, so buttons, beads, shells, pebbles, for example. Or you can purchase the River Horse's very own tokens of friendship. Now, I'll be honest, they just look like bits of plastic rock to me. I know there's supposed to be like some sort of jewels or something like that. I honestly think like having what they should have done, River Horse, is like actually get buttons or badges or even like the equivalent of a poker chip perhaps, and have it like a token of friendship, like actually like as a physical thing rather than naff bits of plastic. So it's like, why would I use this for? Because it's if you're trying to get them into buying stuff like for the game, I think you'd have to say that, because otherwise it's like, what is this? Like, did you break something? Yeah, no, not particularly fun of those things. That's it in terms of character creation. So how many steps is that? That's 10, but even then, most of it's like drawing and easily enough picking the stats and whatnot. Easy enough. So yeah, quite straightforward. Alright, pony kind. So it's going to go into a bit more of the lore about the different ponies. Look at this map. Oh, gorgeous. Let's have a look. Will it show it just on 2 pages? No. I tried, sorry. Single page. Very beautiful, isn't it? I like the sort of like, almost like fairy tale drawing style it's got going on here. So we've got Empire. And I know I saw Ponyville earlier. There's Ponyville. Zoom in a little bit, shall we? What have we got? Undiscovered West. Mysterious Self. Is that Appaloosa? Appaloosa. Oh, very good. Appaloosa. Dodge City. Bog with 2 G's. What do we have on the other side? We've got Into the Unknown. We've got Bugbear Territory. Trottingham. Oh, these are great names. Oh, Manhattan. Very good. Philadelphia. Baltimore. Oh, Badlands. Hidden Jungle. Dragon's Lair. Oh, do we not have anything going to the Oh, yonder to... Wait, is that... Griffins? Yeah, yonder to Griffins, okay. I was like... Right, do we not have anything for the east, though? We've got north... Oh, this is not to scale, I see there. Very good. Nothing to the east, though. Maybe we are the east. So, in this chapter, you'll find out more information about the three kinds of ponies of Equestria. Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasi. When you start a group to play the game, it's best if you and your friends choose different kinds of ponies. That way you can count on each other's strengths. Of course, that's not all a strict rule. You can have a mix of pony kinds in the group. Even a group where everyone is a unicorn, for example. You know, oops all unicorns, essentially. Although oops all earth ponies sounds great. Alright. Earth ponies. So they're known for their strength and for being down to earth. They grow most of the food eaten in Equestria. Connected to the nature and in tune with the land, earth ponies are a vital part of maintaining the order of the seasons. From ensuring the leaves fall to wrapping up the winter, they work tirelessly to keep Equestria in harmony. Many earth ponies live in farms and rural communities, though that's not to say that they shy away from large cities like Manhattan and Philadelphia. In fact, wherever you look in Equestria, you'll often find earth ponies living there, since their great endurance means that they can thrive in what other ponies might call the barren wastelands. An earth pony's stout heart allows them to withstand great hardship without slowing them down, and means that they have a lot of love to give to their friends. Earth pony characters are often the backbone of groups of ponies, they being a rock to other ponies can lean on. That other ponies can lean on, sorry. Although sometimes they can be seen as a little rough around the edges, Pegasi and unicorns agree that earth ponies are some of the most dependable friends you can ask for. Absolutely. Stout heart also gives an example here of what the stout heart talent is. Okay, so each earth ponies start with a free additional trait of stout heart D6. It upgrades a pony's body trait and makes them stronger and tougher. As a starting character, you choose to have a body of D6. That trait is increased to D8. We talked about that before. Instead, you can have the body of D4 and increase that to a body of D6. Okay. In addition, earth ponies start the game with 12 stamina instead of 10 stamina that other kinds of ponies start with. Also, the stout heart talent means that once per game, you can ask the GM whether you can add an additional D6 to a test that uses the body trait. This represents your pony pushing themselves harder without losing heart, which makes earth ponies very tough and good at overcoming difficulties. So for example, an earth pony with a body that has D8 in it is better at athletics and hard work, but not as good at tasks such as studying, so a bit like Applejack. An earth pony with a D6 body is a very balanced pony with D6 for both body and mind, like Pinkie Pie. Both choices are equally fun, but allow you to play two different types of characters, such as different as Pinkie Pie is from Applejack. There's some nice little examples here of the ponies. Alright, unicorns. So mysterious and magical, unicorns are easily distinguished from other ponies of Equestria by the beautiful horn on their forehead. Although the horn can be used as an ordinary horn, its main use is the powerful magic that unicorns are famous for. Most unicorns can use telekinesis, the ability to move objects with their mind, and others can teleport, change objects into other objects, and blast powerful stun beams from their horns. Very rarely, unicorns earn a Cutie Mark that shows their special talent is magic itself. Whilst most unicorns know only a little magic in relation to their Cutie Mark, these unicorns know lots of magic and can become some of the most powerful magical creatures in all of Equestria. Many unicorns are proud of their heritage and often seen as noble and majestic, or a little bit arrogant depending on who you ask. Unicorns use their magic to protect the citizens of Equestria, aid in their arts, and solve any problems that aren't solvable by mundane means. Unicorn characters are very useful in a group of adventuring ponies, able to use their wits and magic to help with the trickiest of puzzles and problems. Many travelling unicorns focus on one of their magical abilities, but some learn many spells so that they can help with their friends in any situation. Their thing is telekinesis with a d6, so they start with that. It's a very useful ability that allows a unicorn to move light objects around. As their horn glows with a colourful light, the object starts moving in with a similar colour and floats around in the air. It also allows the unicorn to simply light his or her horn up to see in dark places. As this magical talent increases in level, the unicorn can start moving objects and creatures that are far heavier, like a pony or even a group of ponies. 100% tag yourself. I'm this person over here. I love that hair. Wish I could ever have coloured hair like that again. So, and then finally we've got Pegasi. So Pegasi are the winged cousins of earth ponies and unicorns, known for their aerial acrobatics and amazing agility. Originally a tribe of warrior ponies, the Pegasi are a great and noble race of ponies, now tasked with maintaining the weather of Equestria. Using their wings and their innate abilities, they can move clouds and create winds, which is how they have created Cloudsdale. Oh, very good. Cloudsdale is the awesome home of many Pegasi high up in the sky. It's where they keep much of the machinery required to make snow and clouds. Many Pegasi love sports and have invented several that only Pegasi can compete in due to their flying abilities. This has earned Pegasi the reputation of being the most competitive of the pony races. But every Pegasi knows that deep down, no competition is worth more than friends. No, it's true. Unless you can crush them. And of course, many Pegasi enjoy flying at a far more leisurely pace. Pegasus characters can often find themselves helping their friends from above. Their ability to fly can be very useful in lots of adventures, whether scouting for trouble or racing against the clock. They're very good at acting quickly, warning their friends of trouble, and when needed, diving into the fray from above. A Pegasus can be a fast friend, and they are often willing to throw themselves into the defense of their buddies. Earth ponies and unicorns can sometimes see Pegasi as a little rash, a little too eager to jump into the action without thinking, but can cause problems if they do not understand. Which can cause problems if they do not understand all of the facts. Yeah. They have D6 in fly. Flying is obviously a very useful skill to have, as it is a great help in moving around, gathering information by looking at situations from up high, and escaping many kinds of danger, such as angry creatures who cannot fly. It also allows a pony to walk on clouds. Excuse me. But note that fly D6 does not allow you to fly as fast or skillfully as Rainbow Dash. She has fly D20. A fly D6 allows Pegasi to fly rather slowly, a bit like Fluttershy. Okay. One thing I'd say is that I assume obviously the D20 means like the better, you're so mastery that you can get really high levels. But actually, I've played a game called Nice Marines, and it's kind of like the opposite way around. The bigger your dice is, the more chance you have to fail, because you need like low numbers. You need to get like under 6 or something to win. So like it's kind of interesting to be like, oh yeah, you need a D20. So yeah, but you have more. I don't know. It's a little bit more dicey how well you succeed, perhaps. I don't know. A note on alicorns. So little is known about alicorns as a race, except they are very rare. Alicorn magic is not fully understood, but it is known that alicorns have magical powers of unicorns, flying abilities of Pegasus, and the strength of good, true-hearted earth ponies. It is for this reason that other types of ponies often turn to the alicorns to solve disputes between one another. Unlike other types of pony, an alicorn is not usually born as an alicorn, but earns the right to become one by displaying a great act that signifies his or her special powers. Little is known as how this has happened, except that it is very rare and only happens when Equestria is in need of a new princess. For example, Twilight Sparkle became an alicorn when Equestria needed her powers of friendship more than ever. And recently the birth of Flurry Heart was the first instance of a pony being born as an alicorn. Although powerful and beautiful, alicorns are just as sensitive as other ponies and often love to be treated like any other pony. They don't like the spotlight, I get you. Many ponies find this hard, always wanting to show respect and politeness, which can mean that alicorns find it hard to find true friends. Oh no! But with a little perseverance, they can form the strongest of bonds. But then at the bottom it says here, in Tales of Equestria, your character cannot be an alicorn. Boo, I say. Of course they can be alicorns. I'm not going to stop them. That's so funny. Oh, more images. And then chapter 4. Gosh, we're flying through. Okay. So, elements of harmony. So, you are free to choose any one of the 6 elements of harmony for your pony character. Note that this has no rules effect at all. What, I can't make people laugh? That sucks. Rather, this is a way to tell the game master and your fellow players what you want the personality of your pony to be like. So read the descriptions of each element in the next couple of pages, and then choose one for your pony. Oh, I didn't realise there'll be stuff for that. Okay. Every pony character in Tales of Equestria is aligned to one of these elements of harmony. They are honesty, laughter, generosity, loyalty, kindness, and magic. Don't worry, you don't have to behave all the time as described by ponies of your chosen element. This is fine as long as your pony's behaviour matches his or her element often enough. For example, Pinkie Pie is cheerful and funny most of the time, just like the element of laughter into which she is born. Sometimes, however, she can have moments of seriousness, anger, or even sadness. If later on you want to change your element of harmony, just tell the game master and change your pony sheet. Your pony has entered a different part of his or her life, maybe growing from a teenager pony to a grown-up pony, for example. Oh no. That sucks. That sounds awful. I don't want to grow up. Can you imagine? What kind of elements of harmony would you be? I don't know. Chores, taxes. It would be great fun if all the members of the group belonged to different elements, a different element of harmony, and it could be useful in an adventure, when it might be useful to have a pony that belongs to the right type of element in a certain situation. So, for example, a magic chest could only be opened if it's touched by a pony that belongs to the element of generosity, or a creature you meet could be easier to befriend if somebody belonged to the element of kindness, and so on. So perhaps you can agree with your friends that you all choose different elements of harmony for your pony characters. However, it is absolutely fine for 2 or more characters to share the same element. I really like the colour scheme. These sort of really sort of pops, these bits of artwork. I mean it in the sense of these sort of not table settings. What am I talking about? These sort of dress set dressing essentially. Not so fussed about these bits, which I think have been photoshopped or sort of snapped from the screenshot. There we go, screenshotted from the various TV shows and stuff. Same here as well. So we've got kindness. So kindness, ponies attached to this element are sweetest, most gentle creatures. Kindness can be tricky, and not every pony has the same opinion of what kindness is. These ponies need to be careful not to confuse kindness with being a pushover. Oh, 100%. Here we've got a generosity. So ponies attached to this element have the biggest hearts and are always prepared to help out their friends and always share all they have with them. These ponies sometimes have to be careful of others, or that generosity will be taken for granted, and it can be a tough time figuring out who to give to when. What? Sorry. And it could be a tough time figuring out who to give to when they can't give to anyone. Okay, can't give to everyone. Who to give to when they can't give to everyone. There. I don't know, sometimes I find it odd. The last person to process that was Rarity. Laughter. Ponies attached to this element are the funniest and most cheerful companions you can ever hope for, and they always look for the bright side of things. Sometimes ponies that embrace this element of laughter can have trouble making it sure that everyone is enjoying their humour, since the laughter is only great when everyone is laughing. That's Pinkie Pie. Okay. Loyalty. Ponies attached to this element are the most reliable of friends. They will never leave the side of a friend in need and never betray a promise made. A pony that is very loyal may be in trouble if he or she is given loyalty to the wrong pony or when loyalties conflict. And that's with Rainbow Dash and Applejack, this one. Ponies who attach to this element can be trusted with your life. They can always speak their mind and never conceal the truth for any reason. Sometimes the truth can be a difficult thing to tell, and even more difficult is to tell it without hurting any pony. These ponies understand better than any pony else. And then finally, magic. Ponies attached to this element are sensitive to the most powerful of all elements, the magic of friendship. Magic is the most difficult element to use, and it can only exist if other elements of the other 5 elements are present. These ponies have a difficult job balancing all of their elements. These ponies have a difficult job balancing all of the other elements of harmony to keep friendship going. Right. Okay. So it's a little bit like personality and flaws and stuff, with just a paragraph for each of them. I would be nice to have a little bit more on like, hey, it's here's some flaws that you might have to deal with, like a little bit more than that, just to expand on it, because I think just to really, I don't know, you don't want to overcomplicate things for a younger audience, do you? So fair enough. All right, let's go for traits and stamina. Traits, we have mind, body, and soul. Oh, not mind, body, soul. Mind, body, and charm. The 3 traits on your pony sheet help describe what kind of pony you are. Will you be strong, fast, and athletic like Rainbow Dash or Applejack, or clever, wise, and intelligent like Rarity or Princess Sparkle, or Twilight Sparkle? Or could you be, you could possibly be as cute as Pinkie Pie or Fluttershy. Starting ponies normally begin with values of D4 or D6 in their traits, but they grow from a young foal, or colt or filly, into adult ponies. Their traits will increase to higher values, so the D8, D10, or even higher still. Increasing the values is explained later on. Traits, like all other skills based on a die value, are used in tests as explained later on. Remember now that the D4 is the weakest die and the D20 is the strongest. The body trait shows how strong you are, how much weight you can lift and carry, for example. It also measures how tough you are, how long you can keep running for, how easy it is for you to catch a cold, and so on. In addition, it shows how well you can balance. So it is useful when you need to complete an obstacle course, or if you want to show off your dancing skills. Small animals and young ponies have a body of D4 or D6, and grown-up and larger animals have a body of D8, D10, or even more in the case of very strong athletic ponies like Big Macintosh or Rainbow Dash. Big Macintosh, what a great name. Of course, other creatures might have a very high body value. A Minotaur, for example, could have a body of D20, and a dragon could go even higher. I think that might be big. Is that Big Macintosh there? No, that's probably must be Pinkie Pie, right? No, Fluttershy, possibly. I don't know. I don't know their names. Oh no! Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Pony fandom, please. Okay, so mind trait shows how intelligent your pony character is. How well you remember things, well, not so much for me, clearly, and how good you are at studying and winning an argument. The mind trait is useful for solving puzzles, finding your way out of a maze, and speaking other languages. In addition, ponies with a high mind value are less likely to panic or to become sad or scared. They can push themselves to keep going where others might give up. The mind trait also shows how good a pony's sensitivity is. A pony with good mind can pick up whether others are upset, guess what they might be thinking about, and figure out what they're going to do next. Call it a sixth sense, or even a pinky sense. Young ponies start with a mind of D4 or D6, but as they learn new things through study and experience, their mind value will increase to a D8, D10, and more. up to the very high levels that Twilight Sparkle and Zekura have, yeah. Other creatures and exceptional ponies such as Princess Luna or Princess Celestia have amazingly strong minds, even stronger than a D20. And finally we have Charm. The charm is not about how pretty or cute you are. Oh, gutted. It is about your personality, how much other people like you, listen to you, and want to be your friend and spend time with you. Oh, I don't know about that. That feels a bit... Why should you have external things judge you? I'm always a big fan of like don't care what other people think. So I'm probably gonna have a low charm value, aren't I? Excuse me. Charming ponies make every pony else like them for always being nice and paying attention to the feeling of others. This trait is the most difficult to measure and can be very different for different ponies. For example, you could say that both Rarity and Fluttershy are charming. Meet on your adventure, and influencing others' opinions, such as when you are arguing over the price of a basket of cherries with a shopkeep at a market. Your charm normally starts at D6, and as even the youngest ponies can be very charming by being so adorable. In brackets, actually, some of them become less charming with age. Oh no. As your personality develops and you learn to be nice, charismatic and persuasive, your charm might increase to a D8, a D10 or even higher. Some characters have a charm of D20 or even higher, like Princess Cadence. Okay, and then we have stamina. So your pony stamina is not based on a diet, rather it's a number of stamina points. This measures how healthy, both in body and mind, you are at present. You're perfectly fresh, rested, and full of energy. Your stamina points will be at their maximum. How do we know one? Oh, yeah, it's 12, isn't it? 12 for Earth ponies, 10 for everyone else. If you travel and get very tired, or hurt, or become sad, or confused, you will lose a number of stamina points. Write it under current stamina points of what you have left. So I'm guessing there, it's here. Why is it so much longer than the max? You just like count, I guess because you're maybe scrubbing it out and then constantly writing it. So for example, if you have a maximum value of 10 stamina points after a long day of trekking across the countryside, you're so exhausted that you lose 2 stamina points. This means that your current stamina points becomes 8, so write that down. If you also twist your ankle on the steep mountain trail, you might end up losing 1 or more additional points of stamina. So at 0 stamina though, your pony faints and can't carry on anymore. Tiredness gets the better of you and you need some rest right now. It can be annoying as you are stopping from finishing a task. It can also cause problems such as some bad guys could take you prisoner while you sleep and you might wake up in a cell or a cage. That's why it's normally a good idea to not adventure alone. Having friends around you to help you out when you're down or in trouble is the best. Alright. Okay, we've done an hour. So stamina is normally recovered naturally by resting, eating wholesome food and drink, or even by magic with the use of potions or talents. All of these ways of healings will add a number of stamina points to your total, back up to your maximum stamina points. Yes. As a rule of thumb, the nights I sleep out in the wild will get you 1 point of stamina back, whilst resting at a comfy bed at home or inn or other nice accommodation will give you 2 points back. A nice hot meal will likewise get you 1 point of stamina back, while some cold hay under rain might be enough to keep you going but not help you recover any stamina points. Okay, so it's the difference between like, you're not going to get all your hit points back like if you long rest, so to speak. Going for a long time without eating will have the opposite effect. You might even lose stamina as you become weak and hungry, so always make sure you pack some food for long trips into the wild. And the max stamina will increase as we go. Oh, I see now. That's how you work it out. That's quite good. So how do we work it out? So look at your values for body and mind, ignore the letter D and add the 2 values up. This should equal your maximum stamina value. So for example, a pony that has a D4 in mind and then a body of D6, add them together, you get you get 10. a pony, and then a pony with D6 and D6 will then have a maximum stamina value of D12, which is probably what happens to that. Yeah, that's what happens with the Earth ponies, essentially. So when your pony gains levels, he or she's body or mind values will increase to get better die. This will also make your pony's maximum stamina value increase. So, for example, a pony with a body of D10 and a mind of D12 goes up a level and increases her mind to D20. The current maximum value of 22, so that's the 10 and 12 added together, will then go up to 30, so 10 plus 20. Damn, pretty good. Alright, chapter 6, friendship. Oh. Alright, let's talk about the most important thing in your pony's life in Tales of Equestria, and that is friendship. Like stamina, friendship is not of a die value. Instead, you have a small number of very precious and powerful tokens of friendship that can help you decide to use at any point during your adventures in Equestria. Every pony character at level 1 starts with 1 token of friendship per person in the group, counting all the players and game master. We've done this bit before. Using them. So, they are amazingly powerful, but they are difficult to earn, so use them wisely. At any point during an adventure, you can decide to give the GM 1 or more tokens of friendship and change something that just happened to get a different outcome. The most common example is that you might want to change by giving back a token of friendship is a die roll. Maybe you or a friend has just rolled a die for your pony in a challenge test, which we're coming on to in a bit, and has failed to roll high enough for a success, and that just won't do. So there's 3 ways of changing it, as shown below. So you can ignore the roll and roll again. You can give 2, and that's if you give 1 token. You can give 2 tokens and ignore the roll and attempt the test again, but by rolling a d20. Ooh, instead of the die you were rolling earlier. Okay, that's quite interesting. Or you can go 3 and pass the test or win the challenge automatically. No re-roll is needed. Nice. So it's not like adding anything to it. It's just like re-rolling with a better die, and then just passing complete without rolling. Easy enough. It's important to keep in mind that this is just an example, and the game master can always decide how many tokens of friendship are needed to change a die roll, depending on the importance of the test or challenge and the results of a success or failure. The game master can decide that it's easier to change some results or harder to change others. It's always up to the game master, and his or her word is law. Tokens of friendship are not used just to change die rolls. You can always use them to ask the game master to change slightly what happens in the story. For example, you're at a market and you really need to buy a coil of rope, but you don't have enough money to be able to afford it. You've already tried to beg with the seller to let you have a rope at a cheaper price, but you failed your charm test. Well, you could ask the game master whether you could give back a token of friendship and then find the money you need on the ground. What a stroke of luck. So yeah, that's definitely a story's change rather than re-rolling or anything like that. It's like, it's such a small thing. I'm happy, because they're so valuable to you. And of course, I'm sure it will say that the GM could be like, actually no, you've already failed, etc. Or maybe your character has forgotten the rope at home and you'll need that rope to urgently climb into a well. You could ask the game master whether you could give back a token of friendship to say that you actually remembered the rope at the last minute and you have it in your saddlebag. The game master could say at this point that 1 token of friendship is not enough, but that you have remembered the rope if all of your friends spend a token of friendship. Basically, they allow you to make any change as long as the game master agrees, and you and your friends have the same amount of tokens of friendship that the game master says you need. There's also one more thing you should remember, that whenever you are using tokens of friendship, you can mix the tokens with your other friends, and the more you do this, the more powerful they become. So even if you only have 1 token left, you can still use more tokens to change a single die or event if your friends agree to give back some of their tokens and throw them in with yours. As this is the ultimate power of friendship, sharing, caring, and joining forces to overcome trouble, tokens used together this way are worth more. The game master should keep this in mind when deciding the amount of tokens you'll need to give back for a certain result. Continuing our die roll example, the game master might say that you and a friend need to use a token of friendship on the roll. Those tokens count as 3 instead of 2. Oh, I see. Oh, nice. Very cool. So, how do you earn tokens of friendship? Well, the easiest way of doing that is by leveling up. Whenever you level up, every pony gains a number of tokens of friendship equal to the number of friends they are leveling up with. So, for example, there are 2 new pony characters in a group, they both level up at the same time, both of them gain 1 token of friendship. Okay, easy enough. Oh dear, I can see. Another way of earning tokens of friendship is for your pony to behave as a very, very good friend to their friends, particularly when they're in need, because as you know, a true friend helps a friend in need. A friend will be there to help you see. A true friend helps a friend in need. See the light that shines from a true friend. I assume that's from the show. The game master should always reward acts of great friendship with free tokens of friendship for the pony characters. For the pony character acting in such a friendly way. For example, you and your friends are at the Grand Galloping Gala in Canterlot. Great. When you notice that a big bowl of orange juice is about to tip and will spill all the juice onto the new dress of your pony friend. You rush in and put yourself in the way of the juice, ruining your own clothes but saving hers, because you know how much she cares about that dress. That is a great show of friendship where you sacrifice something for your friends in the most generous way. So the Game Master awards you with a free token of friendship. In other words, when you play Tales of Equestria, always try to be as helpful and nice to your friends as possible, as you can be as possible. Remember, if you smile, the world smiles back at you. In brackets, why not try this in real life too? But I don't know. I've tried that. It doesn't work. It's a bit sickly in places, I'll be honest. Like, I totally understand what they're doing, like as a way to get people excited about it, but like, I think kids are a lot smarter than we take them granted for, you know? Another great thing about the tokens of friendship is that there is no maximum amount of tokens. You can have as many as you can earn. Amazing. So you could proper hoard them up and then be like at the end, like be the proper super friend who's just come back, clearly has not talked to anyone for ages, but has, I don't know, helped, you know, leveled up and then like, okay, I've got 20, let's go. Whenever a new friend joins the group, a token of friendship is immediately added to each player's pool. The more, the merrier. Oh, bloody puns. When a friend leaves the group or can't make it to a game session, the group members do not lose a token of friendship, as that person is still a friend in spirit, even if they cannot be there in pony. Fine. Alright. Tests and challenges, chapter 7. Okay, so at some point during your adventures, you and your friends will be faced with some troubles or problems. If everything went well, it would not be an adventure at all. There are 2 different things that can occur. We've got tests and we've got challenges, so let's look at them separately. Okay. A test is when your pony is facing a difficult situation, like kicking open a locked door, dodging a falling coconut, solving a difficult puzzle, or memorizing a speech. The Game Master will set a difficulty to the test that you'll need to pass, from which is a number between 2, the easiest, to 20. Excuse me, the most difficult, and will tell you what trait you would need to use for the test. In order to pass the test, you would need to roll equal to or higher than the difficulty. So, for example, to dodge a falling coconut, that classic example, the Game Master could decide that you need to test on your body trait against a difficulty of 4. This means you could roll the die for your body trait, for example that is a d8, and if you score 4 or more, then the test is passed. You dodge the falling coconut and you are okay. If you roll 3 or less, the test has failed and you are hit on the head by a coconut. Ouch! Lose 1 point of stamina. Of course, if your body trait was higher, like a d10, the test would be easier. Instead, if instead there's something that makes the test more difficult, such as your legs being tied together, the Game Master would set it a little higher, 5 or even a 6. Right. Ah, here's a difficulty chart. Nice. So we've got all the way from very easy, you've got 2 there, all the way. So it's actually quite good to have. Yeah, anything over 15 is going to be really difficult unless you have like. Oh yeah, unless you have like the D20, right? Because you were not adding anything to this. No bonuses for like modifiers, or we're not using those friendship tokens. It's just to re-roll. So that's all it is. It's just rolling the dice and using the number on the dice, not adding anything. That's quite good. So yeah, so anywhere between 2 to 12 difficulty. Okay, as a target number. Note that the minimal difficulty of 2. So if you roll a 1, the test is always failed. Only that rolling 1 is very bad. Oh, it's really bad, sorry. And the game master can make up some very entertaining effects when it happens. So, for example, the game master could decide that by rolling a 1 to dodge the coconut, you have jumped to the side so fast you did indeed dodge the coconut, but crashed really hard into the trunk of a palm tree, losing not 1, but 2 points of stamina. Oh, very bad luck. Amazing success. Sometimes you succeed really spectacularly, even in the case that in which case you or the game master gets to tell everyone how amazingly successful you were. This happens when the roll of your die is double or more of the difficulty test. So it's not necessarily a d20. Okay. So, for example, if the difficulty was 4 and you rolled an 8 or more, the test was amazingly successful. In the example above, if you rolled an 8 on the test to dodge the coconut, which is a difficulty 4, then you and your game master could come up with something really cool. For example, you could say that rather than just dodging the coconut, you booked with perfect timing as it fell and kicked it right on the top of the cart of the supplies behind you. Nice move. Okay. I've read this paragraph before and it always makes me laugh, so hang on, I'll just... So no fingers, no problem. Often, in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, ponies can be seen doing things with their hooves that don't make sense in our slightly less fantastic world. They tie knots, pick up stuff, move small objects, or even play the piano. It's the same in Tales of Equestria. Genuinely, a pony can use a combination of teeth, hooves, and magic to do what a creature with hands can do. As a general rule of thumb, or hoof, if a question comes up concerning whether a pony is able to do something using hooves, it's simply best to say to not. It's best to simply not think about it very hard. Equestria depends far more on magic than science, after all. So I like that idea that if they're drinking like a cup of cocoa, and like how do they hold with the hand? Do they need handles? It's like it doesn't matter. They're drinking their coffee. It's fine. So, in some cases, when faced with certain difficult tests, someone in your group might have a talent that could give you an advantage in that test. So, for example, if you had the special skill of booking, you get to roll an extra die when booking, which will apply nicely to kicking down a door. Some talents allow you to upgrade or re-roll dice for a certain test, as described later. Some other talents allow to roll extra die in the test. Simply roll this extra die along with the one you would normally use and pick the best result. So, for example, if you're trying to kick down a door, the game master decides that it's a difficulty 4. Normally, you would use your pony's body value to do this. Let's say it's a d6, but that you also have the booking trait of a d8. This would allow you to roll a d8 as well as a d6. And you roll both and pick the highest value. Nice. If more than one pony is attempting the same test, you all get to roll your die and pick the highest. So for example, more than one pony could join forces to try and kick down the door, one after the other. Each pony takes the test. If any pony succeeds, then the task is successful, and the number of ponies succeeding can help the game master decide how successfully the test has been passed. Sometimes several ponies can join forces all at the same time rather than one at a time. This makes passing tests even easier and can allow the group to succeed in tasks which would have been possible for a single pony. For example, imagine you had to move a very heavy table. One pony could not even lift it, but if 4 of you grabbed a leg and together you could lift and move it. In this situation, the game master lowers the difficulty of the task, and all the ponies taking the test take the test as described above. The difficulty is normally reduced by 1 point per pony helping out, but she can increase it if she thinks it is appropriate. Such as if one of the helpers is a dragon. Excuse me. Oh. For example, lifting and moving a heavy table is a difficulty 7. So a single pony with a body of d6 and no talent that will help him or her lift the table will find it impossible. However, if the pony was joined by a friend, the DM could lower it to the difficulty of 6. If the friend had a body of D4, lifting table would not be possible for one of these ponies, but could be possible when. Hang on. If the friend had a body D4, lifting the table would now be possible for one of the ponies, but not for both. However, if a total of 3 friends were helping the first pony lift the table, the difficulty would be reduced by 3 down to 4. So even friends with bodies of 4 could succeed. Oh, interesting. So wait, it goes down one point per pony, right? Or per pony taking in the task. Oh, okay. Some pony in the group could have a talent that could be used to solve a problem by using a completely different test, if the GM agrees. So, for example, a unicorn in your group, seeing how breaking down the heavy door is very difficult or even impossible for the group, could say, "Wait a second, I could peek through the key. Could I peek through the? Can I peek through the keyhole? Is the key in the keyhole on the other side of the door?" The game master could say, "Yes, you look and you see the key is indeed in the keyhole on the other side. Could I use my telekinesis to turn the key in the lock?" So smart. And yet change the difficulty for that from a difficulty of 3 rather than a D6. So by using your imagination and talents, you can find a solution to almost any problem. That's pretty good. I like that. Alright, impossible test. So what happens if the difficulty of a test is too high for any pony in your group to pass? So for example, if you're trying to buck down a door made of thick oak planks reinforced with metal strips, difficulty could be 10. But if you have a body of D8, there's no chance of rolling a 10, which means that the test is impossible for you. If you wish, you could still try an impossible test. There is a secret technique that gives your pony a very small chance of success. Ooh. Oh, I don't know what's come over me. I'm super knackered for some reason. There is a secret technique that gives your pony a small chance of success. This ancient technique passed through the centuries from master to disciple? It's supposed to be disciple, right? It's called the exploding hoof. When you attempt the exploding hoof technique for an impossible test, pick a single die for your pony to use, either from his or her characteristic or relevant talent, and roll the test as normal. If you roll the maximum value on your die, you may roll your next best die. So for example, if you roll a d6 on a d6, then you roll a d8. And if the d8 also rolls its maximum of 8, then you roll a d10 and so on. Once the dice fails to roll its maximum, or if you've rolled a d20, or if you've rolled a d20, you stop rolling and pick the highest result you've scored in that series as your final result. Note that the exploding hoof technique cannot make the roll worse. For example, if you roll a 1 on your d8, you would use the 6 that was previously rolled on your d6. I see. Of course, there are other ways around impossible tests. For example, if faced with the heavy door as described above, you could use tokens of friendship to increase your chances of kicking it down, or you could ask a stronger friend to give it a try if their body was d10 or more. Alternatively, of course, there may be other ways you can explore rather than going through the door. Maybe there's a window wide open somewhere. Okay, so that's I like that, the impossible test exploding hoof things. But can you only do that like once per session? Or can you do it, like, could I guys just say it for every... Excuse me, could I just say it for every session? It's just gonna work? Also, I can pick any die? Why did it say that? You pick a single die for your opponent to use, either from one of your his or her characteristics, or presumably that's the mind, body, charm, and then roll for the test as normal. So you can't be like, I roll a d10, although I don't have that. Okay, a challenge is a special kind of test where there are two sides competing to achieve the best result. Okay, so it's like an opposed challenge. In a challenge, the two characters involved in the contest use the same trait or the same talent to see who wins. The two sides both roll, and the one that rolls the highest wins the challenge. If the rolls are equal, the GM decides whether the challenge is a draw, and will tell you what the effects of the draw are, and will ask the two sides to roll their dice again. So let's take a spelling contest, for example. Your pony and a rival are competing, and the GM decides that it's going to be a mind challenge. That means that you both roll your mind die, and the highest rolling result is the winner of the challenge. In the case of a race, the GM could decide that you need to do a challenge using your body trait. If the challenge involves convincing someone to give you some information, or you're trying to win an argument, the GM might decide that you have to take the charm, make a charm challenge, or have to take a charm challenge. If it's a challenge involving a talent, then you use that die for that talent. For example, in a flying race, you would use a die that you get from your flying talent. As a normal test, a 1 equals a bad luck result with bad effects decided by the GM. And similarly, if you beat the opponent's score by twice or more, you have succeeded so well in the challenge that your GM will describe some cool or additional effects. I really like that like the way it's not like it has to be like a natural 20, but like if you score 4 and like if you beat it twice, that's you've outpaced them, outrun them essentially. All right. Another rather unpleasant example of a situation which might involve several challenges is when you get involved in a fight with against one or more bad guys that might want to capture you. Or maybe against hungry creatures that might want to eat you. Remember when the main 6 were attacked by Queen Chrysalis and her changelings? Things certainly got heated and our pony heroes had to fight for their freedom and for the safety of all of Equestria. For another example of a scuffle would be when the wizard's duel between Twilight Sparkle and Lord Irek. Yeah. Sadly, there are cases where you have no choice but to fight to defend yourself and your friends. Remember, it's important to never seek out a fight, and if possible to resolve arguments by talking. Trying to understand why your opponent is upset might mean that you can help them become happy again, and because of that, even you might become friends. Fluttershy showed us how to do this when she pulled out the fawn of the Manticore's paw, turning the angry, upset monster into a big, purring kitty. Yes, well, Manticores are pretty bloody scary, so... If you're left with no choice, however, it's time to take part in the scuffle. In a scuffle, the GM will guide you through a series of challenges, either individually or altogether as a group, or both, that will lead to a result where your group wins or your opponents win. Characters taking part in the scuffle are called scufflers. They'll usually end when everyone on one side is reduced to 0 stamina, or when one of the sides decides to surrender. Okay. Oh god. One-on-one scuffles. This is a type of scuffle between two scufflers involving a challenge using the body trait and any suitable talent. The losing scuffler loses a number of stamina points equal to the score rolled by the winner. Ooh. In the case of a draw, the GM must decide one of two things. Either the scufflers are equally matched and get a chance to think things over and stop fighting, or if they want to try again, they can re-roll. Alternatively, the GM can decide that both scufflers count as winners, so each of them losing stamina equal to the score rolled, or possibly a double knockout. Oh yeah, that'd be pretty good. Note that armor, helmets, and some abilities may reduce the number of stamina points being lost due to the scuffle. For example, if a diamond dog was wearing light armor, he would only lose 5 stamina points from this particular example that I didn't bother to read out. We're almost there. If a scuffle involves lots of scufflers on either side, splitting up the scuffle into separate, smaller scuffles. Each of the separate, smaller scuffles is always going to be one scuffler on one side and one or more scufflers on the other side. The side with the most scufflers can normally choose how to split up the scuffles, unless the GM says otherwise. Oh dear. The advantage of ganging up on one scuffler is that one side is ganging up will roll more dice and therefore have more chance of scoring a high number or scoring an exploding hoof result. Note that if all the ganging up side loses a scuffle, then the winning scuffler divides the stamina loss amongst all the scufflers on the losing side any way that she or he likes. Oh, hello, Crafty Govo. Oh, hello, bronies. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, so we're doing all right. We're getting through it. It's a little bit it's very easy to read. And there is, I will admit, there's some cool mechanics. I'm enjoying that, but it's a little bit patronizing in place of it. Oh, look how cool these creatures are. Yeah, tag yourself. I'm this one at the back who's like joining the fight. Oh, these must be the changeling ones they're talking about. Oh, interesting. Right, we won't go into too much detail. We don't need to read out all these examples. So, untrained tests and challenges. So, normally, simple tasks can be attempted by just using your body, mind, or charm traits. But in some cases, a test or challenge might need a particular talent. So, for example, if a test or challenge of flight, ponies that do not have that talent cannot take the test or challenge. Or if the test involves a magical talent, then only ponies with that talent can take it. Yeah, makes sense. In some cases, if the GM agrees, you can attempt a challenge or a test that requires a talent, even if you don't have it. In this case, you would roll a d4. Makes sense for the worst dice for that test or challenge. For example, you could try to use unicorn magic to control the weather at a crucial moment, even if you were never trained in weather manipulation. I'll give it a go. But your chances of succeeding are very low. If the GM allows it, you can try it, but you will be using a d4, which would be very, very tough. Does dressage count as a talent? That is a very good question, Crafty Buffer. I think a scuffle should be a standard term for a fight in D&D. I mean, I agree. I'm like this constantly, like, don't hit me. So I do like that as a wording of it. Dressage count. I mean, technically, you do something like dancing. Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, performance would be also good. I don't know if dressage is a bit too on the nose, perhaps, so to speak. Upgrading and downgrading dice rolls. When a rule or ability allows you to upgrade a dice roll, or die roll, sorry, this means that you can roll a die that's one step better than you normally would, and the same for downgrade is that you have to go down to worst, go down one dice step worst. Some rules may upgrade or downgrade a roll by 2 or more steps in a single step. If the d20 is upgraded, you can decide to re-roll the result instead. If the d4 is downgraded, you must re-roll the result if it is successful. Too bad. Ooh, okay. That's interesting, because I would say that what's possibly easier would just be like, okay, you've got a d20, that's the highest it can go, or you can't get lower than a d4. But yeah, you get double advantage, or you get advantage essentially and disadvantage if you're constantly downgrading stuff. So that's interesting. Rerolls. You can choose when the rule or the GM allows you to do a reroll. That means you can choose not to accept the first result you rolled, discard that score, and roll again. The second result always stands, even if it's worse and can never be re-rolled. All right. Whew. Chapter 8, Talents and Codes. We don't have to go through this because we had a quick look at it when we did character creation, so we can talk a little bit about it. So a talent is something that your pony is very good at, better than most ponies. There are many, many talents we've looked at. I'm going to tell you how they work, and a list of them can be found. They are a skill or ability or something that you know really well. In fact, you're so good at it that it sets you apart from your friends and most other ponies. For example, Rarity's best ability is creating beautiful dresses. Rainbow Dash can fly really, really fast and with amazing control. And Twilight Sparkle is great at learning spells. Fluttershy can speak with animals. Applejack is excellent at running a farm. And Pinkie Pie is fantastic at throwing parties. One of these things is not like the others, right? It's very much like that, the Fab Five from Queer Eyes. Oh, like, I can change your wardrobe. I can help you cook a good meal. I can do reaffirming stuff about your life. I've rebuilt your entire house. It's like, okay, Bobby, we get it. A pony can have more than one talent, of course, and we'll probably learn a few as she or he levels up during their adventures in Equestria. Talents are rated with a die value, so they normally start at a d4 and increase in rating as you level up to the mighty d20. A pony with a d20 in a talent is the master of that skill or knowledge. Not many of these inhabitants of Equestria can reach that skill level of skill in a talent. For more information, yeah, fine. Cutie marks. Your main talent of your pony is the one that you discovered just before getting your Cutie Mark. When you found out what this talent is, your Cutie Mark magically appeared. This talent is the one that you're going to have influence your pony. It is often defined as a pony's job or mission in life. For example, if you find that you have a gift for healing others, and you feel like healing and medicine is what you want to do more than anything else, that is going to be your talent, and your Cutie Mark will reflect that. All grown-up ponies have a Cutie Mark talent, and our game starts just as your pony has got his or hers. Talent development. So as you level up as a result of your adventures in Equestria, your talents will improve. The more you use them, the more they will increase in rating, and one day you will call yourself a master as you achieve a D20 in a talent. That's not all. You will also learn new talents and discover new things that interest you and that you're good at. For example, you might want to play an instrument, or be really good at a sport, or learn a new profession or hobby, or get paid for being a DM. All these things. There's a list that we've gone through before. Magical talents and other restricted talents. So some talents are normally restricted to a certain kind of pony. These will be written clearly next to the talent's description. Yes, because obviously we've got earth ponies, we've got unicorns, we've got Pegasi. So you wouldn't be able to fly unless you were a Pegasi, because obviously those are the only ponies that have wings, etc. Okay. I literally didn't read that last line, so... For example, magical talents will be normally limited to unicorns. Some talents are limited to Pegasi, because they require the pony to be able to fly. And other talents are limited to earth ponies, as they depend on the earth pony's natural harmony with animals and plants. God, it's that whole sort of like, you know, I'm a Slytherin, I'm so ambitious. I'm really smart, I'm a Ravenclaw. I'm really brave, I'm a Gryffindor. I see ghosts, I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm lactose intolerant, I'm a Hufflepuff. That sketch always makes me laugh, it's one of the funniest things. So we're just moving on, because we've read all these ones, we don't need to read them again. Telekinesis. Alright, quirks. So quirks are like talents, but they have bad effects on your opponents. Oh, so you didn't say that before in the character creation. I felt really bad. I do think it should be flaws rather than quirks. I don't know, I feel quirks can be a bit... I always see quirks as like a positive thing, or like something that stands out that could be positive or negative rather than a bad effect. So every pony starts with one main quirk, but you might acquire more during your adventures, because as you become an adult pony, you level up, you gain more bad effects. Is that what you're saying? Quirks are things like fears, bad habits, or physical weaknesses, such as nearsightedness, bad teeth, and smelly. God. A list of common quirks and their effects are found in the next couple of pages. Quirks are very important because they make your pony character more interesting. Nobody is perfect, and it's great that you can rely on your friends to help you out with your quirks, just as you can help them out with theirs. It's useful for game masters too, as the GM can use quirks to make important moments of the story more challenging or exciting. So say, for example, that your character needs to reach a hoof deep into a hole in the wall to move a lever that opens a secret door in the dungeon of a castle. Easy enough, but the GM knows that you are afraid of spiders. So he or she tells you that there are some thick cobwebs surrounding the lever, and your hoof must go through the cobwebs to reach the lever. And before anyone says anything, if you just joined the stream, yes, they can use their hooves to like pull things like levers or hold cups and stuff like that. Why? It's magic. That's what the book said. That's your quirk. Your fear of spiders kicks in and making it very difficult for you to succeed in that very simple task. If you were on your own, this might require a difficult mind test to force you to face your fear. Luckily though, you might have friends with you who can simply reach the lever for you instead. The fear of Tesco lasagna. I saw I'm not someone that plays what's it called? Elden Ring. I don't play Elden Ring at all, right? But I saw someone did a meme of basically anywhere you go and then you can see the health bar of the enemy comes in. It says what the enemy is, but you don't see where they are. Someone took a screenshot of the Elden Ring, it's like a big boss coming, and it just said Big Tesco. which made me chuckle quite a bit. But yeah, Tesco's at that. To be fair, when the Olympics is on, I call it horse dancing. Yes, that is absolutely fair. The horse prancing might be a better word for the crafty gobbo. All right. What do we say? So, unlike talents, quirks are not rated with a dice value. Instead, they are stated in the description, but aren't all bad. When a quirk stops a pony from doing something meaningful, the GM gives the player a token of friendship. It's our quirks as much as our strengths that makes our friendship so special. So in the example above, if you couldn't reach the important level because of your fear, then you would gain a token of friendship. The GM should give out tokens of friendship only when a quirk comes up in an important way. Using our examples above, some cobwebs in the corner of the room that your character wishes to avoid but doesn't stop you from advancing would not earn you a token of friendship. So yeah, essentially role-playing to your flaws and personality gives you tokens of friendship. There's an additional rule here. So if the GM decides to allow this rule, you might decide to have an additional quirk when you're creating your pony character. Yeah, I think you should always do some always have a couple more like flaws to play with so that you're not stuck doing a one-note pony, a one-trick pony, so to speak. Sometimes ponies have quirks that's not on the list and it can be very difficult to play. So some examples might be ponies that are blind or unable to walk. Though these quirks are not listed directly, a GM might decide that his or her group is mature enough to approach playing a pony with respect. In fact, Tales of Equestria can be an excellent place to explore such ideas in safety, allowing players to empathise with problems that other ponies have, or even roleplay their own struggles in a positive and fantastic way. Interesting, because obviously so far we've not talked about safety and, boundaries, all that sort of thing, the safety tools in Session Zeros, because that's not, this book came out just before all that sort of stuff started kicking off about the safety tools. That's interesting that here it says like, hey, so, there's no, don't, it's a way to talk to your players of a younger audience sensitively about these things. I will say though, it's that thing about the quirks saying like, oh, physical weaknesses, nearsighted, so they have to wear glasses. I was like, well, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's not a quirk. It's not, and it's not a flaw. It's just, So I don't know. I'm a bit about the words for that. So I don't know if I would actually put as physical weakness in as a quirk per se. If players want to play characters sensitively that have disabilities, whether it's physical or if it's mental, I would have a conversation about it. But I wouldn't be like, oh, it's a rickety bridge and your pony can't, your pony has balance issues. But don't worry, if you can't get across, here's a token of friendship. That's gamifying their quirks. I don't like that per se, as it makes me feel a bit icky, I'll be honest. Alright, so here's some examples. I do want to read the me one. Here we go. So where some ponies dislike the spotlight, others like it a little bit too much and love being the centre of attention. You might not like it when other ponies are praised when you are not, or may even go out of your way to catch every pony's eye. Every pony's eye. I love it. See, that one, I think that's quite fun. Easy to do. So. Alright. Pony names, cutie marks, and portraits. So, okay, so this is going to be quite a quick chapter about just getting names and stuff like that. Actually, the whole of this book has been just character creation, and we'll get to like I think I know what we have to do in terms of doing a test, but still. So your pony name, your cutie mark, and appearance are all linked together. Together they paint a clear picture to everyone what your pony character looks like. They each often have something to do with your main talent, but it's not a strict rule. Think of your pony character's body, mind, charm, talents, quirks, element of harmony, and so on. So for example, Emily has created a character who is a girl unicorn, not very strong, but very clever. She's very talented at making the most spectacular fireworks. Her element of harmony is definitely magic, but Emily decides that her cutie mark is an exploding firework and draws it on her character sheet. Considering this fire in us, Emily decides that her pony's coat and mane is going to be a mix of red and orange, a bit like sunset shimmers. She colours in the pony sheet to show the unicorn's silhouette using red, yellow and orange pastels. Finally, Emily tells the game master and her group of friends she'd like a name for her pony that people think of fire, fire and positive fun energy. You all think about it and you come up with a number of suggestions for Emily, like Spark, Hearthy. What a great name Hearthy is. Firework, Ember, Firebrand. Emily decides that she really loves Firebrand, as that name makes her think of fire and a somewhat hot-tempered, energetic pony. So her character is named Firebrand, and Emily writes that name on the sheet. Done. Hearthy sounds a great one to me, though. Proper mix out that. So, your pony's name should be easy to remember, fun and interesting, with a hint of what your pony is about. There's no strict rules for naming your pony, but you can draw on inspiration from the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic TV series or ask the Game Master for help. For example, if your character is a very strong male pony and has a relatively simple character, a bit like Big Macintosh, maybe based on the loyalty element of harmony, you can call him Strong Oak and give him an oak tree or an oak leaf as a cutie mark with a brown and black mane. I do hope there's tables, by the way, that you could roll on and find out rather than just like have a think about it. Boxer. Oh, Crafty Gobber, don't you? Yeah, you know what happens when you get 0 stamina? Nothing. Everyone goes to rest. We don't talk about where they could go. I did think that though. I was like, oh, they have no farm. Oh dear, strong and holds the community together like glue. Tell you what, I'm not playing this game with you. I think you're going to traumatize a whole generation of younger adults. God, I remember watching the Animal Farm cartoon, and I didn't realize the effect, like what was going to happen. Like, and the poor donkey rushes back to find his friend, and then gets shut up. And I was like, why are they taking Boxer to the glue factory? He doesn't do arts and crafts. Cutie Mark. The pony's Cutie Mark is normally inspired by your talent, but once again, there's no strict rules about this. It can be connected to your name or your element of harmony, or anything else that makes your pony character unique and helps him describe his or her character to every pony else. I gotta be honest, it's growing on me a little bit, the every pony else, but I do have to think about it when I'm saying it out loud. I just wish they'd also have other terminology for other things as well, that if there was like a terminology sheet. He doesn't do arts and crafts. Yeah, draw it in the pony sheet, or you can find a picture you really like and ask the game master to help you copy it and print it, and then you can cut it and glue it onto your sheet. That's entirely up to you. See? Arts and crafts. Boxer would approve. Okay, finally, when it comes to drawing your character, you can start with a pony sheet that already shows you the outline of an earth pony, unicorn, or Pegasus. So yeah, here you go. Example of the female earth pony or the male earth pony. Again, why we're having this, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Or you can use a completely blank one. Absolutely, you can use a completely blank one. It's in this book as well, fantastic. Others can be downloaded from the Riverside Horse website. Of course, in the case of the Cutie Marks, you can also use an existing picture of a pony you find somewhere and cut it and paste it onto the sheet, and just use it like that or modify it. That could be quite fun as an arts and crafts thing, right? Yeah, put Black Beatty on there, etc. Alright, equipment and money. Ugh. The most boring bits of Equestria is when they talk about the finances and the economy, right? Don't remember that in the TV show, I'll be honest. So, equipment and money. Most of the time, ponies don't need equipment or money to go about their daily lives, or even on adventures. So feel free to skip this section altogether, particularly the first time you play Tales of Equestria. That needs to be done a lot earlier, by the way. So yeah, sod that. In some cases, as part of an adventure, your ponies might need to have some money or some particular type of equipment to be brought along in one of the that can be bought, in one of the Equestria's stores or market stalls, like a long rope, a cart, some clothing, a potion. In this chapter, you'll find a list of valuable equipment, their game effects, and their typical costs. We don't look at it too much, don't worry. Keep in mind that this is not a complete list, and the Game Master will have to pick up some effects and costs for other equipment that is not listed here. So, in the land of Equestria, coins are called bits. All new pony characters start the game with 400 bits in their purses, often kept hidden in their manes. They don't have pockets. In between adventures, you can assume your pony will work and earn 200 bits a month. God, that's not much, is it? Plus or minus a number of bits equal to a roll of d20 as ruled by the Game Master. Oh, okay. Get that in tips, do you? Get that in sugar cubes. So, of course, the Game Master can change its value as much as he or she likes. In addition to this, during an adventure, you will find some bits, gems, and rare items that can fetch a nice price if you decide to. Alright, what examples have we got? Is this a list of average prices in Ponyville? It's likely that everything else is going to be more expensive in fancy places like Canterlot and Manhattan. It's quite common for Equestria to argue about prices, going, how much? How many bits? So you need to use your charm to do negotiation and haggling. Okay. Ooh, so we've got barding, which is like some sort of armor. Okay, that's not too bad. A bucket. Mm-hmm. Heart. Extravagant meal. What else have we got? Oh, art supplies. Yeah, we can do arts and crafts if we wanted to. It's a joke. Oh, this curious kit is filled to the brim with buzzers, whoopee cushions, and other practical jokes. If it's funny, it's in there. Oh god, someone's gonna have one of those fake plastic poos. I hate stuff like that so much. This kit lets you upgrade your die when you're using it to create a practical joke. God. Banned. Absolutely banned. Pony Balm. This is very soothing for ponies and can help with the effects of allergies, asthma, or even small scratches or wounds. When using Pony Balm, a pony gains 1 point of stamina up to its maximum stamina, and it can only be used once per day. Only 5 bits? Gosh, that's quite expensive. Alright, and then we've got Chapter 11 is leveling up. Congratulations, you managed to successfully finish your adventure. Nah, we're alright, thank you. I just want to see what we do for leveling up. So you gain levels, so update it on your character sheet to level up the level. So it would go here. Alright. You can upgrade one of the die values amongst your free traits of body, mind, and charm, and increase it by 1 step. There's no strict rules about which trait you use. You can think about which trait you have used the most in the last adventure and increase that one. On the other hand, you can imagine your pony seeing that his or her body was a bit weak for some of the tests that your group had to overcome, might decide to train hard for a couple of weeks. Yeah, go to the gym. I'm still debating about doing that tonight, actually. I don't know if I want to. Or to get a stronger, faster body to be ready for the next mission. Or you can choose to study hard and improve your mind. Or take singing or acting lessons to improve your charm. Oh, God. No, thank you. Some ponies just want to be really good at just one thing, and whilst that's allowed, we suggest that ponies might try to have a rounded set of skills. Generally, a good rule of is that no trait should be more than 2 steps higher than the next trait. So, for example, if you have a body of D8, a mind and charm of D4, it's best to upgrade the mind or charm rather than the body. And of course, as you develop, so does your stamina, because it's adding those. The body and mind together. That's what it was, right? Growing older means getting tougher. Gotta put that on a t-shirt, huh? Stabling fees? Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, what's the accommodation costs? Have you seen the price of hay recently? Absolute madness. Okay. If you've upgraded either your mind or body, increase your maximum stamina, so that is the sum of it. Yep. If you have plenty of rest in between adventures, your current stamina points goes to the maximum, your new upgraded one. So, yes, I guess when you level up, you don't necessarily like just get everything back. Maybe it's about to say here. Yeah, it does. It kind of does. Much like when you started play, you get a token of friendship per player that was in the last adventure, including yourself and the Game Master. These are added to your total number. Remains up to the last adventure. Yes, because there's no max value. Max amount that you can have. Talents. You upgrade all talents you used. Oh, okay. So it's a bit like Call of Cthulhu then, in a way. Because of this, you might want to record the adventure during the adventure whenever you use a talent, whether successfully or unsuccessfully, because the pony can learn from failure as much as success. Put a check mark next to the talent and you use the adventure. And then you can choose to either upgrade a single unused talent or use a new talent. Oh, that'd be quite good. So, upgrading a talent you've not used represents the fact that the pony character will feel the need to improve this talent and will spend some time practicing it between adventures. Alternatively, you can decide whether it would be more useful to learn a talent, maybe something you'd wish you'd known how to do in the last adventure. Okay, I like that justification behind it. All talents will have a die attached to them, and all new talents are gained at D4. Portrait. You can modify your character's portrait to show any changes in clothing style, equipment, and so on. Maybe a couple of, I don't know, scars. Maybe where you booted off, what you got like your leg wrapped as you did stuff. I don't know. And optional to pick additional quirks if you want. Fine. Ooh, level 10 and above. So after reaching level 10, ponies can decide to retire. Maybe to go do some arts and crafts. As they are now very experienced and powerful, they might prefer to leave the adventuring life to younger, more eager ponies. Jog on. This means that you can start another pony or try a different pony type with a different set of skills and talents. This is often fun as it lets you discover the fresh feeling of when you're rolling a D8 for like a major accomplishment. On the other hand, you can decide to keep adventuring with a veteran pony of level 10 or more. Veteran? Gosh. This will mean facing more difficult quests, which are sometimes called epic quests. The game master will have to be careful, as these big adventures might range further from home. Level 0, a Cutie Mark Crusaders quest. So when you start a new pony character, you might decide if you want to play as a very young colt or a filly that does not yet have a Cutie Mark. Your first adventure or set of adventures will be about finding your talent and getting your Cutie Mark. Oh, it's quite cool to actually do literally a session 0 a level 0 character. Because D&D has done that with the Treasure Island thing we looked at for the Games Book Club, but also Dragonlance is something similar, I seem to remember as well. The latest adventure. And Wild Beyond the Witchlight, I think, had something as well. And here's how you create one of those as well. That's quite nice. It would be nice if it was a little bit more formatted, I guess. And then adventuring tips and tricks. Sorry, my words are so. We're racing through this. What was that? Time as well. So, tips for making a pony character. Ah, nice. So before you play Tales of Equestria, we've made some tips and tricks to make your first character. So, ask some questions. When making a pony, you need to be ready to answer some questions about your pony. These questions will make it easy to understand how your pony thinks. She or he could be very similar to you or completely different. Have a look at these questions and see if you can answer them. Also, what's the kindest thing your pony does every day? What is your pony's most prized possession and why? Who or what does your pony feel most loyal to? Does your pony have a secret? What makes your pony laugh out loud? And who are your pony's friends, families, and where does he or she live? Oh, is that it in terms of questions? Oh, I would definitely add to this as a game master for sure. Like, definitely, like, pony's friends around the table. Like, everyone introduces... Yeah, I feel like, because otherwise he's completely disconnected to everyone else. That's, there. Look, that's an alicorn there. So, be different. Equestria is a world where you can be almost any type of pony you want to be, so feel free to go a little wild. Maybe your pony likes rock and roll, or maybe he or she prefers a quiet book, though no one is saying your pony can't like both. When making your pony character, try to make sure that you're not stepping on another player's hooves. Free unicorn ponies that all like dancing and music can be fun, but it might be even more fun if you're all different from each other. Maybe you yourself are a Fluttershy and want to try out to be like Rainbow Dash, or maybe you are an Applejack who just wants to try out being like Fluttershy. This is your chance to try being something different, but not too different. That being said, we are making ponies that need to work together and be friends. Your ponies need to be willing to work as part of a team and be friends with everyone else's pony characters. So choosing a character that wants nothing more than to read a nice book in peace is a cool idea, but a pony that flat out refuses to leave his or her house will be a bit of a problem every session. I don't know. That's the kind of pony I'd like to be. I'm not today. No adventures today. Because you can properly be like the Bilbo Baggins of it all. No adventuring, thank you, you know. Picking quirks. So you may have read the section of quirks and realised that you could be a bit clever about choosing a quirk that will never be a problem for you. Fear of asteroids, for example. But remember, if you choose a quirk that will never come up, then you will never get friendship tokens that come from facing your fears and problems. On top of that, part of the fun of a role-playing game is putting yourself in the horseshoes of your pony and overcoming their problems. If your pony has no problems, then you will not miss out on this interesting part of the game. And how to play. We've got being creative, failing is fun. So these are all stuff that again we've sort of come to before, but it's wait your turn, teamwork. Role-playing is not a competition. Remember the elements of harmony. Stay true and honest to your character. How to run. We don't need to go for that. Oh, we've got some terms here perhaps. I do quite like, I guess again my wish would be like, okay, you can't just say stuff like any pony, you know, or in the hooves of, etc., or the horseshoes of, etc. Game master should be like pony master, right? Not like the jockey. And non-player characters like non-pony characters. Oh no, that doesn't make sense really, but yeah. If you need a bit more in terms of terminology. Read this book. I'll be honest, most of this book has been about going through character creation and then really going into like why you need to do it. And then we've got this first venture module which we're not going to look at. And then this sort of thing should have been at the beginning, I feel, because they're not. It's kind of like, I don't know. I wonder with that pony character. Yeah, it's only 8 there, so it just gives you. So yeah, so this is the free download of this particular chapter of the creating a character from River Horse Games. You literally could just. Oh, and there's a pony sheet as well. You could literally just you should literally just download this, work out what the dice mean, and not read any of the book. What else we got? NPCs of flavor. Be a fan of the players always. Run with your mistakes. Player versus pony. And then the adventure. Alright, we'll leave it there. Alright, what do we think? It's actually not as much lore as I thought there was going to be. There's a little bit. Things I like. Positives. I like the 3 different kinds of ponies you can be. I think that obviously fits into what MLP, Friendship is Magic, is all about, you know, and they have different, you know, it's enough to have like, here's some choices, but the minimal, like, it's not as overwhelming with choice that maybe some people would have. And I think it seems flexible enough to be like, if somebody's like, oh, I really want to do this, I really want this, and I really want this, you as a game master could be like, okay, that sounds like you're going to be a Pegasus because you really like energetic stuff, etc. Or you really want to do magic, we'll put you in as a unicorn then. I do think Earth Pony sounds a bit dull as a name for it. But they seem to be like the coolest, like you get the most stuff. It turns out being average is fine, you know. Personally speaking, I'm like, oh, that does sound quite fun. Then we've also got terminology I've sort of touched on a little bit. The book itself seems like very invested in like telling you stuff. Again, I guess it's talking to you as if you are a first time runner of this game, also a first time person to maybe role-playing games in general. So it's obviously written in a way which is supposed to be like encouraging to younger readers, perhaps. Even though it says like the game master should be an adult, I think really it is aimed at somebody who's like really wants to like play this game and run it with their friends or play with their friends, rather than get like mumbled down to run it. Personally, that's what it feels like. I will say it feels at times that the tone feels a little bit patronizing, and I know that's obviously this book isn't for me, it's not written for me. There's a lot of examples of stuff which is fine. I wish that the examples were sort of like boxed a little bit so that we could see that, oh, Emily's created her character now and this is what it is, rather than just like within the text. The text also does feel quite small in places, and I know I've zoomed out quite a bit. I also think they've understandably relied on a lot of images from the TV show, and obviously a really great map of the place as well. I wonder though. I think they might have relied. I think this book could be a lot shorter. Like we blasted through like nearly 90, nearly 100 pages very, very quickly. I think we could have easily halved that without having such big, like you can see here, there's like 2 massive spreads. It just takes up so much in the book, and like there's definitely images that take up quite a bit of space. Like look, there's some empty space here that you don't need. But again, I know it's the attractiveness of it, like, you know, for younger people, like, oh, what is this, and oh, what's that, and this. Like, stuff like, I feel like this, for example, I love the background, I love that as an image. And they've put on Twilight Sparkle there. Is that her place? I can't tell. So it's not a lore book per se, so I understand that. But also, yeah, it's like some of these definitely feel like there's not much text on this page at all. So... But again, it's aimed at someone else. I love the map. I think the map's really good. What I would love, and maybe this is going to come in like it must come in a different book. I'd love to know where, like, so Canterlot, I think, here, that's like one of the main places. Ponyville is like where maybe you start off in, but like you've got all these like, Van Hoover, you know, like, some really interesting places, which again, if you watch the TV show, maybe the film, maybe you know lots about it. But I would love to know, like, Dodge City. What was the other place we looked at before? Manhattan, Philadelphia, Baltimore. You know, I love that, and I will say the puns on it. Okay, but I like these in terms of it. I guess maybe what it is that it's 2 different teams, right? Somebody has obviously created the world and the setting for the TV shows, and then someone else has come in and then written the RPG around it. So I would like a little bit of lore about the main places where you'd go, rather than having to rely probably on that that starting adventure as well. Anything else? I feel like, again, I don't know if the money and stuff would ever come up properly. It's a nice to have. I would love, actually, that was it, the pony names, Cutie Mark Portraits. That chapter felt a little bit superfluous because we already talked about it in the creating your pony stuff. That would be great if we had lots of random tables for stuff. Or a couple of examples of different portraits, perhaps. Cutie Marks, like, yeah, just examples of stuff. Because I always find that I'm starting to be more and more of a fan of random tables as well. I've just finished some sessions of recording Orbital Blues, which has a number of absolutely cracking tables. I would actually recommend that. The talents and quirks, they're understandably personality flaws or flaws. I would not go for the physical ones myself because I don't feel comfortable doing that. So yeah, it's tricky. The system itself I quite like, in the idea that you're setting a difficulty between 1 and 12. Realistically, any further than that is absolutely impossible, and then just rolling your die value, see if you overcome it. But there's no modifiers, there's no pluses or minuses, and then using friendship tokens to, like, 1 to re-roll the die, 2 to re-roll the die and do something else with it. Add it to something? Can't remember. And then 3 was just to pass immediately or something like that. So yeah, overall, there's some interesting bits in it, but I do feel about I would definitely change quite a lot of it if I was running it. But there you go, Trottingham. For 140 pages. It's actually 154 pages total. Pony Master sounds like there's a special spin-off video line about it. Absolutely. Yeah, but that's the thing. I think most of this book has obviously just expanded on what is in that character creation. And like the bit about the different kinds of ponies, like the elements of harmony, you didn't need to have a whole like 6 pages devoted to that. Yeah, I mean, if you go to this one, if I click to it, I do like the backlinks of it, obviously. But like, you got a whole page on that, and then it just breaks down to literally a paragraph between them with pictures of the ponies that it sort of represents in the show. And I'm like, oh, you don't need this. Like, you could put all 6 of these on 1 page. So there you go. And the stamina is quite a good shout as well. Yeah, so I think it definitely feels like my Little Pony, my first RPG, which is fine. Again, slightly different. And the whole, I think what would be cool is if there's a book that talks about like, okay, as a GM, if you're going to be one of those people who goes, I'm going to teach you lessons through role-playing games, like sharing is important, etc. Maybe it'd be really cool to be like, here's some lessons about sharing. Here's about telling the truth, all that sort of like, if you want to explore those stories, here's some adventure hooks or seedlings about it, give it a little bit of spice. I did like going back to it in terms of combat. Obviously not much combat, but the scuffles, etc. Again, seem fairly straightforward. Either you have those are the challenges, so to speak, testing challenges. Yeah, overall, fine. I mean, again, I know it's not aimed at myself, but I think if you were running this, I think it would be good to go in reading the whole thing and then making sure that you change it to be maybe a bit more interesting. Because kids are smart. Kids are so smart, and they don't want to be patronised by stuff. And I think the dice, whatever, the friendship is magic stuff. The tokens, yeah, that's the other thing. I felt like you could the tokens that you could get. What you need is that here? No, it's on the other page, right? What you need. Like they don't need bits of plastic. I think if anything, it should be like a little token that says friendship is magic. Actually make it worthwhile. And I do like having a dice, saying, oh, you're going to use your blue dice now because that's a D20. I do think that's right. Again, you just have to be careful with the colour blindness stuff, perhaps. But there you go. You know what? I'm glad we read it together. Will I ever run it? I don't know. There might be like a really good adventure. That's the thing. Is if there's a really solid adventure that explores the world, I'd love to know more about the world. It sounds interesting. But there you go. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll go to Big Fiona camera. Hello. So if you want to check it out, there's the link to River Horse Games. I recommend checking out Labyrinth. That's a lot more interesting in terms of mechanics. Obviously got Dark Crystal as well, the 2 licensed games they've got there, and they've got a whole bunch of other things as well. So not just aimed at your audiences, but also at your 80s nostalgia. I hope you're doing all right. Thank you for joining me. If you're like Fiona, where else can we find your work? Check out What Am I Rolling, which is twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast. As always, it's going very well. We've just released actually a interview with Daniel Hand, aka the RPG therapist, who uses his own specialist system with his younger clients about exploring issues that in a way that is safe and sort of in a way that they are comfortable with during their sessions. And very interesting to talk to him. We talked about the One Ring as well for a little bit, which is always good fun. And then we're going to have an interview with Game Therapy UK next Sunday, if I get it edited, which talks about using RPG systems with vulnerable groups such as the unhoused or war veterans, etc., and how using RPGs is a way to get together and combat loneliness and all these things, and obviously give benefits, as it said in the beginning of the Tales of Equestria game. So turns out RPG games are really good for you. Who knew? So those are coming up as well. I am also one half of the DM's book club. Oh, I should mention that more. Which is all going very, very well, because we read the books because you don't have to. We are currently starting the recordings for our next travel book club, which has been very good, very exciting. We need to record lots of them just to get them out there, and yeah, that's all going well. If final thing, also, thinking what other things, we've got a Discord. If you fancy checking out a Discord and going, Fiona, why on earth did you spend 2 hours talking about MLP, Tales of Equestria? Come join us there on the Discord. We'd love to have you. We love talking about different RPG systems, different ways of telling stories, and we're always sharing stuff as well, so we very much appreciate that. Right. I hope you have a good week. The next time I'll see you guys, because next week we'll be back on our tabletop RPG streams, because we'll no longer be striking. We are going to be looking at Icarus, the world-building game, which we're supposed to do this week, but unfortunately no time. And then next week I might do an earlier stream on Sunday to do Pendragon, because that's been on my list for a little while now, because the new edition, I think, came out last year. We'll look at the starter set for Pendragon, which is like Arthurian Legends. So something completely different to this. This is what you never know what the dice will roll when it comes to my long list of RPGs. But that's another one off the list. Another 200 and something to go. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing your time with me and your evening. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Let me find the end of stream button. I'm going to wave, and all of them are amazing. Bye it all, folks. That's so true. All right, thanks everyone. I'll speak to you later. Bye.